Penang is a wonderful place to stay, and many foreigners desire the opportunity to stay here in Penang long term. In my previous video, we looked at the MM2H Malaysia My Second Home Silver Tier, which is the entry-level tier of the MM2H visa program. But the Silver Tier is just one of 3 MM2H tiers. There is also the Gold Tier and the Platinum Tier. Hello everybody, my name is Timothy and I want to welcome you to the Penang Travel Tips YouTube channel. And in this channel, we are exploring different ways for people, foreigners in particular, to enjoy Penang, Malaysia and all the places around here. So in my previous video, we looked at MM2H Silver Tier. In this video, we are going to dive into the pros and cons of getting the MM2H Gold Tier. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Well, let's dive in and find out.
Penang streets so bright, every corner a delight. Markets buzz with life, filled with joy and sights. Hidden gems we find, local flavors oh so kind. From the beaches white, warm sun feels just right. Penang my new home, wherever I roam, this place is my own. Penang my new home.
Chapter 1. What is MM2H and the tier system? Let's begin with the basics. MM2H stands for Malaysia My Second Home. It is a long-term visa program launched by the Malaysian government to attract foreigners who wish to live in Malaysia on a semi-permanent or even permanent basis, whether for retirement, extended stay, or simply as a second home in Malaysia. The program allows successful applicants to live in Malaysia for an extended period up to 5, 15 or 20 years depending on which tier they apply for. In its current form, which was revised in 2024 and took effect in 2025, the MM2H program is now structured into 3 distinct tiers. The Silver Tier, which we covered in our previous video, is the entry-level tier, offering a 5-year renewal visa. The Gold Tier, which we are going to cover in this video, is the middle tier, offering a 15-year renewable visa. And the Platinum Tier, which we will cover in a future video, is the Premium Tier, offering a 20-year visa and potentially additional privileges. Each tier has different financial requirements, minimum property purchase thresholds, and varying degrees of long-term security depending on the visa duration. They are designed to accommodate people with different levels of financial capacity and long-term plans. In this video, we are taking a closer look at the Gold Tier, which may seem appealing because of its 15-year duration, but it comes with certain requirements that might not offer much more value than the Silver Tier. That's something we'll explore throughout this video. By the way, if you haven't yet watched my previous video on the MM2H Silver Tier, I highly encourage you to check it out, especially if you're unsure whether gold is right for you. I'll place a link in the description and a card above so you can easily view it. Now that you have a sense of what MM2H is and how the tiers are structured, let's dive into the eligibility criteria for the Gold Tier. Chapter 2. Eligibility criteria of the Gold Tier. So what does it take to qualify for the MM2H Gold Tier? Compared to the Silver Tier, the Gold Tier sets a significantly higher financial threshold as it's intended for individuals with more robust financial standing who are looking for a longer visa duration, in this case 15 years. But the requirements are quite specific and it's important to understand them fully before deciding if this tier is right for you. Let's go over the key criteria as outlined in the official MM2H guidelines effective 2025. Firstly, financial commitment. The first requirement is a fixed deposit of 500,000 US dollars, which must be placed in any Malaysian financial institution licensed under the Financial Services Act 2013 or the Islamic Financial Services Act 2013. This is a significant increase from the silver tier, where the fixed deposit requirement is lower and denominated in Malaysian ringgit. Gold tier participants are allowed to withdraw up to 50% of the principal amount after their application is approved. However, withdrawals must be for specific purposes only, namely residential property purchase, education, medical expenses, or tourism activities within Malaysia. There's also a one-time participation fee of 3,000 ringgit applicable to the principal applicant. Dependents are not charged this fee. Secondly, mandatory home ownership. One major distinction with the gold tier is that buying and owning a residential property in Malaysia is mandatory. The property must be valued at 1 million ringgit or above and can only be purchased after your MM2H application is approved. This rule is enforced strictly. Selling the property is not allowed for 10 years unless you are upgrading to a more valuable home. Failure to comply with this rule can result in your MM2H pass being revoked. Thirdly, residency requirement. Gold tier visa holders must be present in Malaysia for at least 90 cumulative days per year. If you're between the ages of 25 and 49, you can share this requirement with your dependents, so the stay requirement can be fulfilled by either the principal or their dependents. Thirdly, dependents and inheritance. Gold tier participants can bring along their spouse, children, and even parents or parents-in-law. Children under 21 can come along, and those aged 21 to 34 are also eligible if they are single and unemployed. Children with disabilities are allowed regardless of age. If the principal MM2H visa holder passes away, the MM2H pass can be transferred to a registered dependent, ensuring continuity for the family. Other conditions: applicants and their dependents must undergo a mandatory medical checkup after receiving approval. Additionally, long-term medical treatment is allowed, and dependent children can pursue education up to the tertiary level in government-recognized institutions. However, business and employment activities are strictly not allowed under the gold tier. The MM2H pass itself is valid for 15 years and can be renewed every 5 years thereafter, subject to passport validity and updated documents like health checks and insurance. Chapter 3: Pros of the MM2H Gold Tier. Now that we have covered the requirements, let's talk about the advantages of the MM2H Gold Tier. While the financial thresholds are considerably higher than the silver tier, there are still meaningful benefits that may appeal to a certain group of applicants. Firstly, the 15-year visa duration. The gold tier provides a longer visa validity compared to the silver tier, a generous 15 years with a multiple entry visa included. For individuals seeking long-term stability and fewer renewal hassles, this is certainly appealing. It offers peace of mind, particularly for those planning to spend extended time in Malaysia or maintain a semi-permanent base here. Secondly, property ownership equals security. Another major advantage is the mandated purchase of property. While some might see this as a constraint, others may appreciate the clarity and security of owning a home in Malaysia. It removes ambiguity and makes the MM2H program feel more like a permanent relocation path rather than just a long-term visit. And because the rule requires a minimum property value of 1 million ringgit, this ensures participants are living in reasonably upscale housing, often in well-developed urban or suburban settings. Thirdly, comprehensive family inclusion. The Gold Tier is generous when it comes to family dependence. You can bring along your spouse, children up to the age of 34 if single and unemployed, children with disability regardless of age, and even your parents or in-laws. This makes it a strong option for those relocating with multi-generational family members. The Gold Tier also allows dependent children to pursue education all the way to tertiary level in Malaysia. And long-term medical treatment is explicitly permitted, which is helpful for retirees or anyone needing consistent healthcare access. Fourthly, no business or work obligation. This tier is clearly designed for those who are not looking to work or do business in Malaysia. For retirees, digital nomads with external income, or individuals with passive income streams, this could be perfect. You enjoy the lifestyle benefits without the burden of navigating local employment or tax requirements. Fifthly, transferability and renewal support. An often overlooked advantage is the ability to transfer the MM2H pass to a registered dependent in the unfortunate event of the principal's passing. This ensures that dependents aren't left stranded. Additionally, the renewal process is structured and can be done every 5 years once the initial 15-year period ends. It's a long-term commitment with clearly defined steps. A quick note: if you're hearing about MM2H for the first time, you may also want to check out our earlier video, MM2H Entry Level Tier for 2025, which covers the Silver Tier, is less financially demanding and might be a better fit for many. I'll leave a link to that video right here on screen and in the description below. Chapter 4: The Cons of the MM2H Gold Tier. While the MM2H Gold Tier does offer a long visa duration and stable residency options, it also comes with some serious caveats, and these are important to weigh before you even consider applying. Firstly, high financial barrier. The most obvious drawback is the very steep financial requirement. You need to place 500,000 US dollars in a fixed deposit with a Malaysian bank. That's not a small sum and is significantly more than what's required under the Silver Tier. Even though you are allowed to withdraw up to 50% of it for specific purposes like buying a home or paying for education, that still means 250,000 US dollars must remain locked in the bank for as long as you are in the program. And don't forget, this is on top of needing 1 million ringgit or more to purchase a property, which is compulsory under the Gold Tier. That adds up to a very high cost of entry. Secondly, restricted property rules. Speaking of property, the ownership rules are strict. You must buy a residence worth at least 1 million ringgit, and you cannot sell it for 10 years. That may be fine if you plan to stay long term, but for others, this lack of flexibility could become a problem, especially if your circumstances change or if the market shifts unfavorably. And while you are allowed to upgrade to a more expensive property, downsizing is not an option. The rules lean heavily towards permanent commitment. Thirdly, no business and no work. This is a double-edged sword. While retirees might appreciate their low-pressure lifestyle, many younger applicants, especially those in their 30s, 40s, and early 50s, might find it too restrictive. Under the Gold Tier, you cannot work, you cannot freelance, and you cannot start a business in Malaysia. You can live here and that's about it. So, unless you already have independent income from abroad, You'll likely find yourself financially idle. For those who hope to combine residency with professional opportunities, this is a big letdown. Fourthly, mandatory stay requirement. The Gold Tier requires you to be present in Malaysia for at least 90 days per year. This is cumulative, so it doesn't have to be continuous, but it still might not suit those who plan to use Malaysia just as a backup base or escape pad. What I'm explaining to you here is based on the official MM2H literature. But if this turns out to be a misunderstanding of the rule, I will inform you in a future video or post. In the case of mandatory stay requirement, even though your dependents can help fulfill this requirement if you are under 50, it's still a serious obligation, and failure to meet it may lead to revocation of your visa. Fifthly, limited flexibility and red tape. There's a general sense of rigidity with the Gold Tier. The terms are clearly laid out, but they leave little room for flexibility. You need to undergo mandatory medical checkups, submit renewal documents every 5 years, and stay compliant at all times. The administrative side of things is very structured and not necessary in a way that everyone finds convenient. Chapter 5. So, is the MM2H Gold Tier worth it? Now that we have covered both the benefits and drawbacks of the MM2H Gold Tier, let's step back and ask the most important question. Is it worth it? And the answer really depends on who you are, what your lifestyle looks like, and how you intend to use your MM2H visa. If you're someone who already has a high net worth and you're planning to live in Malaysia for a good part of the year, the Gold Tier could make sense. You will enjoy 15 years of residency, the ability to bring your family, access to Malaysia's healthcare and education systems, and peace of mind of having a secure base in the beautiful, culturally rich country. You may not be allowed to work or run a business, but if your income comes from abroad, say retirement savings, rental properties, or investments, this tier gives you stability and long-term living arrangement without the uncertainty of needing visa renewals every few years. It could also appeal to those who want to plant long-term roots, especially if they plan to eventually pass their Malaysian home to their children or use it as a multi-generational retreat. But is it too expensive for what it offers? However, if you're comparing the cost against the lifestyle flexibility, the numbers don't always add up. $500,000 in fixed deposit plus at least 1 million ringgit to buy a home is a lot to fork out, especially when you are not even allowed to work or start a business in Malaysia. If you are a younger applicant looking for more than just leisure, say someone who wants to integrate, contribute, or earn, the Gold Tier might feel more like a golden cage. The high entry level, combined with the rigid rules and zero career flexibility, makes it less attractive to people who still want to stay productive. If you haven't seen my previous video on the MM2H Silver Tier, I encourage you to check it out. I'll leave the link right here in this video. The Silver Tier comes with a much lower financial threshold, making it more appealing to a broader group of people, especially retirees and semi-residents who want to keep their options open. While it comes with shorter validity and lower privileges, the overall balance may feel fairer for most applicants. So, is the Gold Tier worth it? Yes, if you have the means, you want long-term residency and you don't need to earn in Malaysia. No, if you are seeking more flexibility, career opportunities, or a more affordable path to living in Malaysia. Chapter 6. Conclusion. I hope this video has given you a clearer picture of the MM2H Gold Tier, its benefits, its limitations, and whether it fits your personal plans and priorities. The Gold Tier clearly targets a very specific audience. individuals or families with strong financial standing who seek a long-term base in Malaysia without the need to earn a living locally. If that's you, the Gold Tier could offer a meaningful lifestyle change with great food, warm weather, good infrastructure, and the friendliness Malaysia is known for. But if you're watching this and thinking, I'm not sure the Gold Tier is for me, don't worry, you're not alone. There are thousands of others asking the same question. I addressed many of these considerations in my earlier video on the MM2H Silver Tier, which is much more accessible and flexible for most applicants. You can find the link to that video in the description and on this screen. Now, we want to hear from you. If you're currently on the Gold Tier or in the process of applying, please share your experience in the comments below. Your insight can go a long way in helping others make informed decisions. Tell us what made you choose the Gold Tier. Are you satisfied with the lifestyle it offers? What changes have you encountered? Would you recommend it to others? And is there any error in my interpretation of the rules of MM2H Gold Tier? I am not an MM2H visa agent. At Penang Travel Tips, I endeavor to provide you as accurate and information as I can. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to the Penang Travel Tips YouTube channel for more videos on life in Malaysia, travel tips, property insights, especially in Penang, my speciality. And for more detailed articles, MM2H updates, and guides to living in Malaysia, visit the Penang Travel Tips website. Thank you for watching, and it's Timothy here signing off until we meet again in the next video.
I'm home in your charms.